Wow, did it hit the fan yesterday when news came out that the Academy Awards were going to be taking 8 categories and awarding them before the show starts. That they would actually start the ceremony 1 hour early, and then they would cover these 8 categories during that 1 hour ceremony, and then start the live show after those 8 categories were presented. And then during the live broadcast, they would edit in and show the acceptance speeches and things like that of the people who'd won the hour before. This comes to us from Variety, who writes the following. Several major Academy Awards will not be presented on air during this year's Oscars in an effort to present a more streamlined and television-friendly broadcast. 8 honors will instead be awarded during off-air parts of the show and then edited into the telecast, Variety has confirmed. The Oscars recognize 23 categories in total, but the show has been criticized for being long-winded and its ratings have struggled in recent years. Now, struggled, true. Other than any sporting event, it's still the #1 televised event of the year, bigger than anything, but still, they've been dropping. The awards that will be handed out earlier in the ceremony are for documentary short, film editing, makeup and hairstyling, original score, production design, animated short, live action short, and sound. So those are the 8 categories that will be given out prior to the live event starting. And I'm going to take the unpopular position on this. It's about damn time. I have been saying for years that they need to move some of these categories off of the main show. Because quite frankly, the ceremony is for the artists. The show is for the audience. And these shows are too long. Now, I've said a lot of things over the years about different things I think they should do, and some of which they've done. I've always thought it was ridiculous that the Best Director category gets 3 minutes of screen time to announce the nominees, announce the winner, bring up the thing, 3 minutes. But Best Song got 5 2-minute segments throughout the thing. So you're saying Best Song is more important than Best Director because it gets 10 minutes of screen time. Best Director gets 3. But they changed that. They started making, now there's an amalgamation, a collage of the musical numbers that they fit into one thing, and I like that. They've started to cut down on some other things. And the reality is this. With all due respect to the people who are going to be involved and the brilliant, talented people who are involved in making live action short films, short animated films, makeup and hairstyling, film editing, stuff like that. With all due respect to the brilliant artists and creators who work in those fields, 98% of the viewing audience at home watching the Oscars don't have a lot of interest in those categories. The ceremony is for the artists. The show is for the audience. And for years, the Academy has had several types of categories that they have given out awards for at a separate ceremony that they then usually highlight in then. And I think it'd be dangerous to get in a game. Well, this category is more important. These people are more important than these people, and whatever. I think it's a matter that you just got to sit down and say, what categories are the audience really most interested in? These are the ones we televise. But I also think it's important to keep in mind here that they're not just throwing them out. They're still going to be getting their awards, they're getting their Oscars, and their acceptance speeches, or at least a version of them, are going to be played during the show. It's just going to be saving them time by cutting out a lot of the fluff in between. The 30 seconds it takes them to go stand up from their seats and go, oh my God, and thank the person beside them here, person beside them there, take 30 seconds to walk. Just cut all that shit out. We don't need it. You need to shorten the show. And I will be the unpopular lone voice in the wilderness, the sound voice of reason, and say again, it is about damn time. I think this is a good move. And listen, we may watch the Oscars and realize, woo, that didn't work. We may. I, who have been very, very critical of the Academy Board the last couple of years, extremely critical of the Academy Board, I think this is absolutely something they should do and try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And they make more adjustments next year, but they needed to make a change. and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Time to do this. Rob, I know you disagree, at least to a degree. You disagree, but what do you think about this overall?
We take a deep breath. Okay, here's the thing. Totally agree with what you said, that the show is for the audience. The awards are for the people being awarded.
The artists. Yeah.
The fact is, though, that this is the Oscars. It is the most prestigious award show that the motion picture industry has. And what they've done is they're now segregating parts of that art form.
They've done it for years.
Well, but the actual craft going in, like they've had science and technical awards that are given out and those kinds of things. But to take away things like film editing, score, production design, these are things you actually see, production design especially, you see it on camera.
Absolutely.
And I'm just saying that, these people are just as important as anyone else. And I feel that I get it. I totally understand what you're saying. The show's too long. Why we have to watch these variety numbers, I've never understood that. But I think there's a bigger trend here at work. And the Academy needs to make money to pay for their museum. I totally understand all that. But at the end of the day, we are honoring the craft of motion pictures. And what the Academy is doing, remember, their own constituency votes. Editors vote for editorial. Production designers vote for production design. And what you're doing, what you're saying to the public as well, is these disciplines are somehow less important than, say, the actors. And this is about the craft of movie making. It shouldn't be star effing, which is what this is. They're trying to make it, and I feel that, like everything in our country, the United States, we want to dumb everything down. And I think there's a bias here that if we have to if we actually have to learn like a technical category is somehow less. I just want to see Nicole Kidman's dress. And I'm like, for the Oscars, and I do too, because I love Nicole Kidman. So I'm not gonna say that she's a redhead. I've been watching her since Dead Calm. I love Nicole Kidman, and that's great. That's why I watch the pre-show. But I, as somebody who's a film editor myself and who has admired craftspeople, I want that to be a part of it as well. And I hate, it's like everything. We want it quick and fast. I don't care if the Oscars are 10 hours long. I'd watch them. So would you. We can't stop celebrating the academic foundational crafts of our society. We can't, just because it's not Insta-friendly or can't put it on TikTok, it's important that we still honor these things to remember them.
I don't disagree. And they're not taking the categories away.
I know they're not.
They are still giving them their Oscars. They're still going to get some screen time. To me, this kind of reminds me of
How do you tell your spouse that you're not going to be live accepting your award when you've been editing a movie for a year?
Who cares?
And you're like, honey.
Who cares? Like, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when we were in elementary school, and they would call a school assembly, and they would have some ridiculous stuff that none of us cared about.
Announcements.
And I feel like it's just telling the audience, no, I know you don't care about this, but you sit there and you watch this. Let's be honest. The audience is going to tune out anyway. And again, I would feel differently if they just eliminated those categories. And they said, these categories are no longer categories of the Academy Award. We're not recognizing these things. But they are. But we're just going to get a streamlined version of getting. They're going to announce the winners on the show. We're going to see the winners announced. We're going to see them get their Oscars. They're going to give a speech.
But John Williams, you're telling John Williams he's not important enough. His category is not important enough. I started listening to film music when I was 10 because of the soundtrack to Star Wars.
Hey guys, we want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Keeps. Now look, you guys probably already know that 2 out of every 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're just 35 years old. Now that's where Keeps comes in, because Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. That means the guys that use it love it. Keeps offers a simple, affordable, and stress-free way to keep your hair. It's also low cost. Treatments start as low as just $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions for the 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. That means treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. Keeps has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging and proven results. Remember, prevention is the key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so the sooner you act, the better. When it comes to your hair, save more, spend less with Keeps. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, that's KEEPS.com/Campea to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, keeps.com/Campea to get your first month free. Keeps.com/Campea. I don't disagree, but the thing is, it's not about who's important. It's about what is the audience tuning in to watch.
I know.
The audience is tuning in to watch cat videos on TikTok. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, Rob, please continue.
No, I'm with you. Please. I'm there for what you were just. Please continue on.
Like, honestly, I hate to. I don't want to live in a world where an institution, whether it's the Academy Awards or any other institution, has to change so much at the whims. I mean, obviously, we want to be able to listen to what the audience is saying and to pivot and turn and to change things. I do like the fact that, instead of having an entire song number, which they were doing for the purpose of entertainment, it wasn't because best song was so much more important. It was because they went, oh, this will be a nice break for all the actors and, all the lushes to go out to the lobby and get boozed up, and for the audience to see a live performance from Adele or from Billie Eilish or whoever. It was for the purpose of entertainment. It wasn't because it was more important. Now they realize audiences don't really need to see the entire performance and don't really care. So let's just make a medley and the audience will be fine. I understand the pivoting and the, changing of that. And maybe I'm partial because I do work so closely with makeup artists and hairstylists. That category in particular really stings. And because I see that the makeup artists and the hairstylists are usually the first ones arriving on set and the last ones to leave, and they are putting up with actors' bullshit, and they are managing different personalities. Their jobs are really, really hard.
One of the most important hires on any production is your hair and makeup people.
Absolutely. I mean, you want an actor to be in a real bad mood, make sure that they're getting their makeup done by an asshole. Like, that's gonna detract your. It's so much more than just let me slap some mascara on someone. It's creating a character, and that's a really important category, as well as all of these are. And I don't understand also how logistically it's going to work. So every year for the past 20 years that I've been in Los Angeles, 20 plus years, my industry friends, I have a small little group, and we always get together hours before the program starts, and we watch the lead up on the red carpet. We flip back and forth.
Nicole Kidman's dress.
Nicole Kidman's dress.
Watch the dresses.
Exactly.
Who's wearing what?
Who's wearing what? We flip back and forth from E to the live, and then we roll right into the show. So I don't understand, are they going to do the red carpet and then all of a sudden there's going to be an hour hiatus? Like, what's happening during that hour that the, non-important categories are getting their awards? What's going to be
People won't have shown up yet. That's when they'll give you,
right,
be half full.
I think that we're missing the fact that a lot of people tune into the pre-show, which is why 5 different networks cover it.
Yeah, it'll probably be delayed. So you'll probably see the red carpet and the arrivals, and they'll roll right into the live thing.
They'll delay the live red carpet
they
show.
do it already. They do it already for premieres, because we'll be in the theater at a premiere, right? And there'll be the big red carpet event going on outside, and we'll be seeing oh, here comes I'm trying to come up with somebody.
Scarlett Johansson.
Sure, Scarlett Johansson, right? Oh, there's Scarlett Johansson walking down the red carpet, and she's stopping to talk to the interviewer. But then I look to my right, Scarlett Johansson's sitting right here.
No, the difference though is that if we're just going to talk about the fashion, the number one event for designers is the Academy Awards. They don't care what Scarlett Johansson's wearing, to the most recent premiere of, Black Widow. They care what she's wearing on the red carpet of the Oscars, because that is what catapults the entire industry. And
the planet scene.
But here's the thing. You know what this reminds me of? This is the same discussion I heard when I remember back at AMC Movie Talk, and we did a big thing on this with the trend that started with movies all used to have opening credits. They always used to have the big opening credits. 99% of movies no longer have opening credits. And remember, we were discussing that, and there were all these people saying, this is an insult to the people who make these films and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But the audience doesn't care about opening credits. They don't care about opening
Unless
credits.
They're cool.
And it's not a slap of disrespect to the people who did have their names kept. Yeah, because every once in a while you get some, Superman.
Or like
damn
a girl
cool,
with a dragon
iconic
tattoo,
things.
or Seven, or
Yeah,
Okay, but hold on. Like,
but-
the ESPYs are shown on ABC. Does the audience care about best jockey? best bowler. I'm sure that if you're a jockey, you care about that. I'm sure if you're a bowler,
Again,
you care about
guys
that.
are
But they
arguing
still
this
have
as
those
if they're
categories.
you're arguing this like they're getting rid of the categories, and they're not.
No, but I
they are
think
still there. They're still a part. Again, it reminds me. This was the exact same argument that was had with the opening credits of movies, and now everybody loves the fact that they don't have them. It also reminds me of the fact about when the whole discussion was coming about when theaters in North America were finally making the transition to pre-assigned seating. And there's so many people said, no, you're disrespecting people who want to go there and get in line to be. It's like, but now we have it, and we can't imagine being without it. Again, I would totally be on your side if they were literally the way you guys are acting. They were getting rid of the categories altogether, or not letting them have their screen time. They're just doing it in such a way that it's going to make it quicker. You're still going to see the person accepting their award. I don't understand what the big deal is.
I have a question.
Right.
I have a question. So what happens if they do it this way, right? I personally feel like anybody who watches the Oscars will watch the Oscars. And like, that's just it. Like, I think they should stay the same. They shouldn't change for anything. They've always been this way. I don't feel they should do anything to get more viewers, whatever. But what happens they do this and their viewership stays the same?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Gets even lower.
Yeah.
That means they completely.
That means it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then next year you change it and fix it.
Oh,
If it
okay.
doesn't work, it doesn't
But
work.
I think that you've got the Academy is now making a value judgment.
Mm-hmm.
They're making a value judgment about the art of cinema.
That actors and directors
and
are more
that's where we
important.
disagree. I believe this is simply a matter of pragmatic approach to what is getting the viewer numbers, not as to what art is more important.
But you
than the
also
other.
already said that it's still the highest rated program outside
But
of sports.
but regularly dropping.
Yeah, you know what? A
you
lot
gotta
of things
change
are regularly
something.
dropping.
But you got to change something, or else you're just going to stay on the same trajectory
I
you're
would-
going.
I
But
would
that's
argue-
the same. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I would argue that the Oscars are dropping because the importance of movies in our culture is diminishing.
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. But to make a bold statement, say that's the exclusive reason.
No, it's not the exclusive
I
reason.
just don't, especially since the fact that they are still getting the categories, the people are getting their awards, and if it doesn't work, they can just change it next year. I'm not quite sure where this vitriol is coming from.
You-
The
The vitriol is coming because it absolutely is placing a value judgment on one category versus another. And it's just not fair to the people who not only dedicate their entire education, but their entire lives to this craft. And we already are in such a culture of actor worship and director worship where they're the only ones who matter when we're watching a movie, and there's so many other people who have sacrificed their families. So yeah, it actually does matter to be able to say to your wife, hey, I'm sorry that I wasn't here for an entire year to put our kids to bed because I had to be in another country, editing
And that
this.
only applies to people who get Oscar nominations.
It's poll time. It's poll time.
Well, we'll put a poll in. Right now, we got to move on from this. Anyway,
But
guys.
I appreciate you having this discussion. I think this is a good discussion.
Yeah, and again, I just think if it doesn't work, and it may not, they could do all this, and the show may still run too long, and the numbers may still drop, and then they'll have to correct it next year.
So yeah, I think here's the thing though. I really do believe that they're looking at the wrong things. They're looking at the wrong things, and at the end of the day, the Oscars should honor the art of filmmaking, regardless. Because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Turn it into an award show where you're just going to talk to actors, which is what they really want to. Let's face it, if they could do that, they would.
Yep.
All right. Again,
John's face is red. Everyone's face is red in here.
People only care about Nicole Kidman and her dress.
Again, I just feel like you guys are reacting to this as if they just announced they eliminated those categories. And I think when we watch the Oscars, and I might be wrong about this, but I think when we watch the Oscars and we see that, I think we are barely going to notice the difference. I will notice it,
What
but I
about
think
my
it'll be
Oscar
minor
pool?
notice.
I always win when it comes to
You'll
editing.
notice it. You'll notice it if
You
you're in the
always
industry.
win you always win regardless.
You'll
of
notice
the
it if it's
editor.
in the if you're in the industry, or if you care about the industry, if you want to be in the industry. And those are the people who are really watching the Oscars
The Oscar
anyway.
night is about the artist. The broadcast is about the audience. And I don't know. We will see how this goes. But I do know this.
As long as
that
I get-
everybody, including me, always whine and bitch and complain about the length of the Oscars and blah, blah, blah. And then whenever they try to do anything to address it, we always complain. Me included.
But you know what? If the Oscar shows are good, Like, I would say that the biggest thing they should look at is not dropping categories. It's who they got to host the show.
Exactly. Get the right host, and I'll
Yeah.
watch it for as long as you want.
Yeah, I mean, you got to
don't
make it
care
a
how
great
long it
show.
is.
Yeah, they didn't do it this year.
That's another issue.
That's another.
I mean,
They always get the wrong host. A good
Well,
host.
not
I'm in.
always. They sometimes get a really great host, but this year,
Sorry, you're right. You're right.
this year they got the wrong host.
They should have got Stone Cold Steve Austin. is
Stone
what I'm
Cold
saying.
Steve Austin would have bought.
Well, Tiffany Haddish.
You ready for the
after
Oscars?
party, and
Yeah.
he's awesome
Give me
on
a
after
hell
party.
yeah. You
Yeah,
get,
after party's awesome. I
All
love
right,
that
all
show.
Yeah,
All
Tiffany
right,
Haddish.
let's everyone calm down.
Okay.
Let's
so anyway,
We're all
the
good,
question
dude.
is for you guys. What do you think about the Academy Awards trying to shorten the show by having some of the awards given out earlier and then broadcasting them on the regular show a little bit later? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think they should change? Do you think they should not change anything at all? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.